Another
Yes, early out there, right? 7 a.m.
Yeah, 7 AM. I love mornings.
Do you
Everyone's
work?
asleep, sun's not out.
Yeah, no one's bothering you yet.
No. Do you have kids, Dave?
Yeah, I got one. I got one.
Yeah, so, I always feel like if they get up before me, I realize this early on, you're done.
You're lost. Yeah,
You're
I
done.
I want to be the first one up my house every day, no matter what.
Do you go by David or Dave?
You can call me David, but I'm cool with both. So whatever comes off your tongue better.
And, Syvertsen?
Syvertsen.
Syvertsen.
Yeah, yeah,
Syvert. Owner of CrossFit Bison,
Yep.
New Jersey.
Midland Park, New Jersey. Yep. We somewhat on the CrossFit landscape back in 23. We hosted 23.2. So if that sounds familiar, that was the year with the shuttle runs and burpee pull-ups, max thruster at the end with Roman and Patrick Vellner. So that was at our gym.
Oh, wow. How was that? How was that having the open come there?
I mean, by far the coolest experience I personally have ever had. And if you ask anyone from our staff and from our gym that's been there a long time, that always comes up when you ask, like, what are the memories that come up that really burn deep? And that was once in a lifetime experience. And it was the whole week too. It wasn't just the day. Shut our gym down, got to meet a lot of people. Rich and his crew was up there. Rich Froning, because he was coaching Roman at the time. He announced the workout at that point. And Austin Maliello, Don Fall, all those guys were there. And it's just really cool to have them in your walls. And they remodeled the entire place. They took our rig out of the ground. We put it outside. It was wild.
Did you have, what's the word I'm looking for? Concerns, like where you can, like when it goes down and they ask you, are you like, I want to, but man, this is going to wreak havoc?
Yeah, I mean, until it was over, I was afraid that like some fire official was going to come in. Was going to come in during. I just had this vision of a guy walking in down and be like, "Shut it down, everyone, shut it down." But we made it through, and we really didn't break any rules. But it was our entire parking lot couldn't be used because that operation, that production that it took to pull off an open announcement, I had no idea what it was like. You had trailers, armed security. And so we were on the radar for 5-6 days. Like, you would drive by there and be like, what's going on there? And we just wanted to stay off the radar as much as we could. But CrossFit Waldwick, which is a town over from us, helped us out a lot in that we couldn't run classes at our gym for essentially 4 days. And they opened their doors to our members and our coaches to go there and do our thing. And they came up huge for us. So we got them tickets to the live announcement and still have a good relationship with them to this day.
Hey, that's a cool story. I've never heard that one.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a really cool story. That's a testament to you and to that business and relationships.
Yeah. I mean, we had to sign NDAs for hosting the announcement. Like, it's a process that started months prior to. Like, I don't know if you remember Wilson, who I don't think is with CrossFit anymore. I think he's with Rogue, but he was basically the point man that I talked to for months leading up to. And we had to sign, our whole staff had to sign NDAs because it was supposed to be kept quiet. There's sponsors involved in all this stuff. But I had to go to Waldwick and talk to these guys, and they had to sign it because we needed a place for our members to go. That was like our first priority. Once we found out that we couldn't use our gym for 4 days, we had to contact them. And the great people, Mike Jones over there, he really hooked us up.
How this is you, Midland Park?
Yeah. Yep.
There you are. It looks like you're on the East Coast, but when you zoom in, how far are you from New York City, from Manhattan?
No traffic, 30 to 40 minutes.
Oh, wow. You're close.
Yeah. It's rare that you don't hit traffic, but I mean, you go to a Yankee game. I was in the city. My brother just got promoted to Colonel at the, not at Times Square, sorry, at the World Trade Center Museum. And it's without traffic on a weekend, you get there in 35 minutes.
Wait, what's your brother do? He's a
colonel. He's a colonel in the U.S. Army. Yeah.
Oh,
just got promoted. Yeah. He's down in Fort Bragg in North Carolina, who I know Castro and CrossFit have done a few things down there. So it's been really cool to see the Army involvement with CrossFit. Like, I love what those two come together. Those are two big areas of my life, just with how much I look up to my brother and what CrossFit has done for me. To see them kind of meet in the middle is really cool.
And you said he works at the World Trade Center Museum?
No, so that's where his promotion was. He got to yeah, it was a ceremony. It was a big ceremony where they pin his hat and I probably shouldn't call it that. I don't know what it's called. He'll kill me for saying that. But cool story about him.
Tell me.
I've been in the CrossFit space since 2012, and my younger brother. I'm one of 4 boys. My younger brother was member number 1, and so he was an OG for us. But my 2 older brothers kind of dabbled. We'd work out here and there. They were guys that were athletes growing up, and they kind of do their own thing for fitness. But my brother Mike, who just got promoted to colonel, he started at a CrossFit. I think it's called Down South CrossFit in North Carolina about a year ago. And he is like drinking the Kool-Aid hard, like sending me his scores every morning. And I'm so happy to see that he's going to be doing his first open, and he's a beast on the machines. Like he always loves to send me what his 50 calories for time is on the rower, ski, bike, all that stuff. So it's really cool to see, a guy like that really find something at that point in his life. Obviously, he's got a lot of important things going on, but that's where his day starts, 5:30 a.m. class,
How old is he?
He is 44. 44. Oh, he'll be, sorry, he's 43. He'll turn 44 this year.
So he found CrossFit at 42.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not a bad time. It's not a bad time to find it. I know a lot of people are like, I wish I would have found it earlier, but it's also like, it's a good time to find a new hobby and put energy in your life.
Yeah, I mean, he's got all the strength in the world. He obviously, you're in that line of work. You have to be fit, and they work out a lot. And
what's his job? Wait, what's his job?
He's a colonel.
Oh, he's the one that's the colonel. Sorry,
Yep.
I didn't make the connection. Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. No, this is fun listening to his stories of how he's starting, because I agree with you. At that age, you hear that a lot, where a lot of people think they're too old to start it, and you're not. Like I've had people from Bison start in their 60s this year, and like 65, 66 years old, and they're there 4 days a week. And I'm in that age group. I'm 40 now. So you have a lot of people that are, you start to feel your age at this point, and they don't feel like you did 10 years ago, but you still got 20, 30, 40 years left, man. Like you're at the halfway point of life. Like if anything, you should be anchoring into something like this, because it's going to improve the back 9 of your life so much. And I'm glad he's starting to see that.
How you're 40, you said?
Yeah. Just turned 40.
It's interesting. I don't want to say that there's an age too old to start CrossFit, but something has happened to me where when my mom started CrossFit, she was 69. Wow. And she had this, and now she's 82, and she's still 3 times a week, and she loves it. And you could get her to cry about it. My mom's not a crier. You could get her to be like, "Holy shit, I can't believe I found this."
Nice.
But she has this concern. I don't know if she still does, but younger, when she was like maybe in her 70s, like, hey, I'm going to be working out so hard someday, and a piece of plaque is going to break off and cause me a stroke or something. Just some thoughts that she had about how the human body worked. But for me, as I get older, I could tell myself to go as hard as I can on the assault bike, but like my back will go out. And that's kind of the weird thing about, as you get older, your brain still could tell you could push, like when you're 25, you could push yourself so hard and not hurt yourself. You're like, hey, I will run as hard as I can and no hammy's going to pop. But as you get older, you start almost feeling like, hey, is that bolt tightened down?
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're like, that my neck feels like it's going to go out. That shouldn't be like that on the assault bike. Why does my neck feel like it's going to go out? And so it is interesting starting older. I mean, the warm-up process is like real.
Yep. It's very different. If there's one thing I've noticed from the owner's perspective, is you don't see as many people starting CrossFit in their 20s as I started in my 20s. Where I started in Hoboken, I felt like everyone was in the same walk of life. We were like age 25 to 30, and we just got after it, and we fell in love with it. And I've been an owner now for almost 12 years. Our 12th year anniversary is in 2 weeks. And that's one thing I've noticed, is that the average start age of someone is pretty much in the 40s now.
Oh, so interesting. Wow.
It's just a different start. It's not better or worse, but it's absolutely different. It's probably the most common conversation I have in the gym these days, because we've had a lot of people that have been here for 8, 9, 10 years. And, that line is, it's just, I sneeze and I hurt my back, or if I tweak my bicep, it hurts for 3 weeks instead of 3 days. And that's part of biology. Like none of us win that battle at the end of the day. Like biology will always win, but you have to be able to kind of shift, your approach. And I think that's something that we're seeing a lot in the CrossFit space now is, are you able to shift, kind of alter your approach and still get to the mojo of it?
And it is interesting you say that. I think the demographic this year, even the Open, I think is pacing twice as big as last year, which really excites me. I think it's a win for everyone, especially the affiliates.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm fitter than I've ever been in my life, but I'm healthier than I've ever been for sure. I'm the most pain-free in all my joints, my back. My back is like feels like it's like back to when I was in my 30s. I had some rough years doing CrossFit. I used to hurt my back before CrossFit, but then I got into CrossFit. I hurt it less, but I mean I went through some real pain.
Yeah.
And now I've just gotten smarter. Forces you to focus on your diet, right?
Yep.
As opposed to just working off your diet.
Yep.
So yeah, that's interesting that you say that in your gym, that you're seeing that too. But old people we want to go as hard as we can, but you just feel like you're like, hey, something's rattling. Like, is that seat bolted down in the bus?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, my one of my business partners, Sam, him and I co-host our gyms on the podcast together, and we talked about
what's the name of your podcast? What's the name of the podcast?
It's called Herd Fit Podcast. So HERD Fit Podcast.
Okay.
Nothing as big as what you guys do, but it's something, we put something out every week, and it's really kind of just been a consistent flow for about 5-6 years now. And
wow, congrats.
Something he has said in the past that sticks with me all the time. I use it. I steal it all the time. It's every now and then you got to touch the iron to figure out it's hot, and that's what happens with a lot of training as you get older. It's like every now and then you kind of want to see, nobody wants to get hurt, but every now and then you do push that little extra RPMs on the bike, or you put a few extra plates in the barbell and you touch the iron, you found that it's hot, you tweaked your back, and you just have to make educated decisions. And I'll never tell people to not go hard. I don't believe in that. But I do think you got to pick and choose your battles.
Yeah. I went for, I guess I was doing deadlifts the other day, and I haven't deadlifted over 250 in years. And I put 285 on the bar, and it came up like 3 inches, and then and I was doing it on a 1.5 inch, because I'm so short, I do the negative deadlifts.
Nice.
And in my youth, I'd have pulled through it.
Yeah. The line comes across my head personally all the time. It's like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. You probably could have gotten up, but the risk outweighed. And you never want to lose your edge. You don't want to turn into. I've seen the other side of it where this happens with a lot of former athletes that are just so used, or competitors. They're so used to being at the top that they can't handle that feeling of no longer being the go-getter, the high performer. And so they go so far in the other direction. They're trying so hard to protect themselves that they just lose fitness like at a rapid rate year by year. And all of a sudden, 4 years later, like, you can't do anything. And it's hard. It's not science. And that's what bothers a lot of people about it. There's an art to it.
And you're inspired by your it's a double-edged sword, because you're inspired by your cohort. But like in the place I hang out in media, every 20-year-old girl can rep out 285.
Yeah.
And I'm going for a max. So on one hand, I'm inspired by them, but I have to choose my battles.
Yeah, you got to choose your battles, and just but just do some personal recon. That's my advice to everyone on that, is just to do some personal recon. Like, is it really just for ego, or are you really trying to push your own boundaries and make sure you can stay strong, fit, capable? A lot of our gym is kind of followed my age demographic, that we're all kind of younger parents, kids with their elementary school or kindergarten. And I think that's a main source of inspiration for a lot of people. Is like, you want to be like that fit parent that can play with them, protect them if they needed to. And, you got to do hard stuff to maintain that, because, you get past that 35, 40 age group, you're going to start losing muscle mass naturally if you don't stay on top of it. So you got to push the needle.
I want to ask you a bit of a controversial question, and I'll try to stay out of the controversy part of it and stay really big picture. But how many people do you have at your gym?
We're around 285. That's about the number. I had a feeling I was going to get asked, and like we've hovered around 300. We've been as high as like 320, but right now we've been sitting right around the 285 number for about 2 years now.
So a big community.
Yeah, it's a big group. Every now and then I feel like it's small, but it's because it's tight knit. Like, I know everyone's name, I know everyone's story. I could tell you something about every single person that goes there that's beyond their workout scores. So to me, it's like a small church type feel.
Yeah.
but it's, I guess, comparatively speaking, like we were in this morning, we had 2 classes of 25 plus people. Like that happens every day. So it's a pretty big membership.
And you're in a it's a city environment? Is it a big city?
Suburb. I'd say suburb. You know, we
Like
don't have
what's
a
the
lot of
tallest
buildings.
building? Do you have a 10-story hotel in your town?
No,
No,
and a
okay.
couple, yeah. Like if you came out here, you know, if you ever want to come out and check it out and do the open here, or do the open party here, the closest hotel is probably a 15-minute drive, and that's, you
Okay.
know, 10 stories. You know, when the CrossFit staff came here, you know, they were hoping the hotel would be a little closer, but it was about a 15-minute drive for, you know, where it's a lot of just houses, side streets, schools, downtown type areas.
And so when you have a community that big, you have people from all walks of life, right?
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
walks of life. So you
Yep.
have all walks of life and people who have all different perspectives. And we went through some stuff, you know, and you know, obviously with George Floyd and COVID, we went through stuff that drew lines in communities that could cause division in communities.
Absolutely.
And although I think the end goal with everyone with COVID, we can all say is the same. We all wanted to live.
Yep.
We all wanted to be healthy, but there
Yep.
were different pathways on how to get there. And so when you have these tight knit communities, it could cause division. Or the same thing with humanity and the George Floyd thing. I think we all want, like, hopefully, like, our kids to be healthy and have fun and have opportunity. At the end
Yep.
of the day, that's like what at least people who have kids, that's what we want. I'm speaking from that perspective. I think I haven't met any parents who don't want that for their kids.
Yep.
They want their kids to be healthy and happy and have opportunity.
Yep.
And then now we're going through the same thing again, right? There's this cohort of people. You may have someone, and I'll get a little more detailed here. You may have someone who is an immigrant at your gym, and they brought their family over, and they're working hard, and they own 3 businesses, and everyone's working 80 hours a week. And then you might have a guy who's works for ICE, and his job is somehow coming in conflict with those people. And so, and you know all of these stories, and you have to congregate all of these people in one building. Have you learned anything from how to keep the community together each time you go through these civilization rocking moments or challenging moments?
Absolutely. It's funny you say that. It's probably been my I don't want to call it a stressor because I'm not stressing about it, but I'm thinking about this a lot
I like the way
from,
you said that, but
yeah,
people take note of that. It's okay to think about it and also not stress about it. Yeah.
yeah. Um just, you know, it's like I don't like the world right now. You know, I don't like, and it's both sides of every argument too. It's just the, if you disagree with me, you're wrong mentality. I
Right.
don't believe in that. And so we have had discussions with coaches, with owners. My wife and I have had a lot of good discussions as well. She's very involved at our gym, and she's like the person I want to talk to the most, because she'll put me in my place. She'll tell me I'm straight up wrong a lot of times, and I like that. I need that. And you know, one thing we've done is we've kept politics out of our gym for a long time. And some will say that's kind of taking the easy way out. And it's not. I'll have any conversation with any person at any time. And I mean that. And I like to have these conversations, but I don't trust big groups of people to do that. And so one thing I've told my coaches is that there are some that, and just people in our gym, I disagree with politically, and I'll have any conversation about it. But they are people to me first. They are a person to me first. The politics is as similar to what team they root for in the NFL. And
Okay.
yes, I know there's different levels of how serious this is with their kids and everything, but there are some that I really do disagree with on a lot of things. But if I saw their kid in a frozen lake drowning, I'm going in after them, and I'm going to do
Right.
everything I can to help them. Burning
Right.
car, same thing. And I mean that. It sounds morbid, but that to me, it's because I would
No, I
never.
get the sentiment. I get the
Yeah.
sentiment. I get the sentiment.
And I feel like we're a lot more similar than we think. And like, I
Yeah.
really think it's, but we feel pressure. And I think people that run social media are a lot more intelligent than us. They control what we look at. They can control what we think to, what we react to. Those people make a lot of money for a lot of reasons. And they have, those companies have a really strong hold on a lot of people. And it breaks my heart sometimes to say that it just was not a thing when we started 10 years ago. It wasn't even a thought. And
Mm.
now it's kind of front and center every single day. So how do you manage that in a gym? There's absolutely people that disagree with each other and would like to fight with each other, and they try to make each other feel bad. And I'd kind of say, why not have tough conversations? Like my wife and I, we always kind of make some, I don't want to call them New Year's resolutions. I like calling them goals for this year. And being an owner of a gym of 12 years, like I've fallen short a few times on trying to avoid tough conversations with people because I care so much about feelings and, overall vibe of a gym.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to lean harder into like having tough conversations with people because I think usually a mature conversation fixes almost all of the problems. It's the lack of communication that's really where stuff gets ugly. So that's what we are trying to do as leaders of the gym. It's not just coaches and owners. Like I think members that have been there a long time and have a presence have a real opportunity to be different. I always want the CrossFit gym, Bison, any gym that you're a part of, like I don't want it to be like the rest of the world. Like I want it to be something that kind of sets the example of what the world should be.
Wow.
Because I think it works. I really do think that's a big reason why CrossFit gyms can flourish even further than where we are now is people want peace. Like they want somewhere they can escape all that BS because it's at the end of the day, it's kind of secondary to who we are, what we do. So that's where I stand on that kind of stuff.
It is good in conversation, at least I feel, to always start at a point where the two people agree.
Yeah.
Right. So for instance, this young man who was killed recently, to start at the point of like, hey, we didn't want, no one wanted that guy to die.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, or something, some place before, like, hey, can we always, if we start fighting, can we come back to this point that we both have the same, somewhere we are completely aligned.
Yeah, we both feel threatened. That's
really
what's happening here.
Yeah.
Everyone feels threatened and they go into self-protection mode. Like,
yeah. Well said. Yeah. That's perfect. And that's the feeling around it. Both sides feel threatened.
We're no different than a grizzly bear with her cubs. Like if my wife and we're celebrating 10 years and we're going to go out west, Wyoming, Jackson Hole. And I'm a big animal guy. And I always have these fears of running into wild animals and everything. It's a weird phobia of mine, but you run into a bear with her cubs, like you're in trouble because they feel threatened,
right.
Like, I'm not going to do anything, but they don't care. So I think that's kind of like just gut instinct. When you feel threatened, violence is absolutely going to be a part of it, but that's a common ground that both sides of that argument have is you feel threatened. And it's just unfortunate that the emotions can't be controlled on either side.
And piggybacking off of that, you want your gym to be a place where people don't feel threatened.
Yeah. I want it to be the safest place in the world until we start doing Fran. But, it's like.
Well, and to get a good Fran score, you have to be very vulnerable.
Yeah.
You have to be very, very vulnerable.
Yeah. And that's kind of what bonds people together. I think that's why CrossFit bonds are so strong. And that's why we lean into the open. It's like, it's such a common ground that we're all kind of scared. We're all kind of nervous, but we all do it.
Yeah.
And it's, we feed off each other.
Well, as a child, are you born and raised in Jersey?
Long Island / New Jersey. So East Coast. Yeah.
Do you know, there's this guy who's been calling in to kill Taylor. He's from Jersey. I really like him. Connor Felt. Do you know Connor Felt?
No, I don't. I know a lot of the people in the New Jersey. Is he competitor? Is it?
He's young, beautiful, strapping young lad who's fit as fuck who calls in. But I think he was from Jersey.
Okay,
good kid.
Yeah, I haven't heard the name. I probably would know what Jimmy goes to but I'll try to watch the next one and see if I'm waiting for my day. I'm waiting for it to cherry pick a workout and I'll come
awesome.
Challenge Taylor to a workout.
And what was it? Did you grow up in a rural part of Jersey?
Basically, I've been suburban my entire life. We were in Long Island. My dad's a pastor, or a retired pastor now, and he was in Long Island. That's where I grew up, and then we moved over to New Jersey in the mid '90s. So, I mean, I was 9 when we moved. So I basically have lived in Jersey since 1995, and all suburban. I did live in Hoboken for 3 years, which is kind of like across the river from New York City. I worked in finance before I got into the CrossFit ownership. And that was probably the one time I did not live in suburban. It's like a really cool, like happening town with people that are out of college, young professionals. So it's where I met my wife.
A pastor is a guy who has a church, like he runs a church and speaks to the flock like on Wednesdays and Sundays.
Yep, yep, yeah. It's a non-denominational Christian church. My father did that for I think 40 years. My younger brother is a pastor out in Wisconsin. My oldest brother Dan runs a Christian camp up in New Hampshire, and my brother is a colonel, and I coach CrossFit.
Yeah. How did your dad become a pastor? Did he have some sort of did you know the story?
No,
The
I mean, I
origin, the
don't think
catalyst for that?
no, I don't think there was anything like emotional or big about it. I think that's what he grew up wanting to do. He grew up going to church, and I think that's he was a college basketball player, so he played at King's College in New York City, which doesn't they shut down. Now they're back. They're not as big as what he was back when he was in college, but it was something where I think he's kind of passed down to us, and without even realizing it, we kind of all brothers kind of looked at it at some point that really just wanted to make a difference and make the world a better place. And I think that he did that through ministry, through faith, through God. And he's definitely has done that. I mean, there's nobody like him in the world. I'll never meet anyone like him again. I don't think anyone is like him. And it really taught us a lot about being selfless and putting others before yourself. And, that's, I have a tattoo on my arm, and I have all my brothers gave me something to put on there word wise. And I put my dad's on my shoulder, and he uses the term joy as an acronym, JOY, Jesus first, others second, yourself third. And that's kind of sums it up.
Say it again. Jesus first.
Others second, yourself third.
It really is. If I'm miscategorizing your dad's agenda in life, feel free to unfuck me. But
Yeah.
So your dad gave his life to do work for people to help them with with what happens to you after you die, to help you, to give you the tools in this life to have a good next life.
Yeah, I've never really heard him say it that way, but it's definitely a big part of Christianity is, where do you go when you die? That's the most common question.
Yeah.
That people say, like, why? Why do you live like this? And some it's a moral compass. Some it's truly what you feel that you were put on this earth to do. But that is a big part of Christianity is that after you die, you give your life to him, you dedicate your life to him, and you end up and you go to heaven.
Isn't it fascinating? So I have people in my life who I love so much and who love me so much, people who would give their lives for me. And we never talk about what happens when you die. And yet your dad, that was probably not a conversation that was avoided growing up at all.
No. I mean, that's really,
think about that two distinct different, our mortality at some point. I don't know how old you are, 7 or 8. You're like, oh, you realize, oh fuck, I'm gonna die someday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You remember that, like 7 or 8 years old, you're like, oh shit, this didn't go on forever. What did that person say? Die? What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Suicide? Someone committed what? And yet, just that mental landscape of the two. I mean, it's because it's always scratching at us, right? Maybe that and procreate. What happens when you die, and then your desire maybe to procreate. Those two are like always somewhere underneath, like tickling you.
Yeah, it changes as you get older and you experience more life. Like I can remember I can tell you this right now, when you're 8, 9 years old, you're like, yeah, I don't want to go to hell, so I'd rather go to heaven. So I'll go to church. And you start understanding it at a deeper level, and you start understanding, observations in the world of like why this works and why I believe this. But it's that, and then you start questioning it at some point. Like I questioned it a lot growing up. Like we went to church every Sunday, no matter what. We weren't even allowed to play sports on Sundays. Like I was on a competitive baseball team growing up, and I was the one kid who couldn't play on Sundays. It was against the rules. But it wasn't. Now I look back on it and I get it, especially now my son's getting into youth sports now. And it's like, they want every available hour of your day on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. And, you start to question all the whys. And I think that's where your faith actually gets tested. And I relate that to CrossFit all the time. My dad did a sermon series one time called CrossFit, and just talking about all the similarities between understanding yourself within CrossFit, you understand yourself within Christianity, and why you should question it, and why you do have to pivot every now and then and look at it from a different lens. But as long as you're still kind of pointing forward, pointing north, you're on the right path, but you're kind of never done with the path. Like you don't, You don't get to a certain point. You're like, all right, I'm calling it quits now. Like it's an ever going thing until the day you die.
Right. And did you consider being a pastor?
Never strong. No. I never really, it was never in my scope. Like I like talking to people. I like teaching. I like trying to motivate and have people look at things from a different lens. I like helping people a lot. But that was never like a really serious, option for me.
It's interesting, the certainty, like being a pastor seems like such a cool thing to me and such a noble thing, but I just don't have the I don't know if certainty is the right word. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I
Yeah.
just don't have the certainty. I wouldn't want to like just imagine being a CrossFit coach and every day thinking, I don't know if this is the best fitness program. Like you can wake up every morning and walk in and know it's the best fitness program. I would hate to be like leading people, but not be steadfast in my own no.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that happens a lot with CrossFit coaches. I'm sure it happens with pastors too. And I think that's part of why I never really looked at it. Like I never really felt like I was good enough to be a pastor, to be honest with you. Like I compare my dad to God himself, and he'll get mad at me for saying that, but I'm not like my dad. I wish I was more like my dad, but I didn't think I was really capable of doing that.
Yeah. So you said you played baseball. Was that your big sport?
Yeah, baseball was my best sport growing up. I was a pitcher. I'm 5'10", wow. 5'10", right-handed pitcher. So just like after you get past like the high school stage, you're really not that attractive. A lot of pitchers are 6'2", 6'3", throw a little bit harder, but I played really competitive baseball from probably age 10 to the end of high school. And that was it for me.
And did you love it?
Loved it. I ate it up. It was, I love being alone. You're on a team, but you're alone. You had the ball in your hand at the start of every pitch. Like they always call the pitcher's mound the loneliest place in the world. And the only time I've ever used the term lonely is in CrossFit gym ownership. It's like you're on a team and you get support from so many different angles. But it can be a very lonely proposition where like you really have to keep track of everything and everyone. And that's why I really do feel like my baseball, like that's how I viewed being a pitcher. And I've related a lot of those principles to coaching and owning a gym.
Do you think that it would be easy for you to stand 60 feet away from a 5-gallon bucket and throw a ball into it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And now that my son's going to start getting into sports, he actually didn't want to play baseball this year. He's wrestling this winter.
Oh, wow.
Your boys wrestle, or your boys are more skateboarding?
No, they're big, and they spend 3 to 5 hours every day fighting.
Really? Oh yeah.
Yeah. They train hard.
Awesome.
They just had their first IBJJF tournament. That's like the premier jiu-jitsu league. It went really good.
Nice.
It went really well. And then they got another tournament this weekend. I'm even waffling on fighting. It's scary.
It is. Trust me.
It's fight. It is. At first I just thought it was jiu-jitsu. It's fighting.
Yeah, it's different when you see your kid have someone trying to like put their arm around their neck.
Yeah, like, or break their arm, or
It's I didn't wrestle growing up, but I believe in it and what it can do for a kid, an athlete, and a lot of different ways, mentally and physically. But I would love for him to play baseball at some point, but he wants to wrestle again in the spring. As of now, he changes his mind a lot, but we'll see.
How big is he?
He's we just had to weigh him. He's got his first tournament Sunday, and he's at 43 pounds.
How old is he?
5.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you started him early too.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild. Well, you have you thought about getting him into jiu-jitsu and wrestling?
Yeah, we've done taekwondo. That was like the one thing he could do in this area at age of, I think we got him in at 2 or 3. And just to get him involved in something. And so that's probably taekwondo, wrestling. I would probably look into some jiu-jitsu if we wanted to kind of change it up a little bit.
It's interesting because my kids have been going since they're 4. Now it's a 6-day-a-week thing. And it's so interesting. Their true self is when they step on the mat. So like when we go somewhere, like I could see them fooling around all day and exploring their different facets. But as soon as they step on the mat, it's like they're like home.
Yeah.
It's a trip.
It's awesome because my guy, only child, he's shy, But he, for example, I'm competing down in South Carolina in 2 weeks, and they have a kids competition right after. Like, it's an intramural thing, and I signed him up with 6 to 9-year-olds, and they said he could do it. He's 5.
This is
So
a CrossFit competition?
yeah, it's like a one workout thing. It's totally for fun. And I want him to practice. There's 45-pound deadlifts in this workout, and he can do it, but like, I just want him to practice it.
Yeah.
And when we're at the gym, he doesn't
That's
want
stout. That's over body weight. That's stout.
Yeah. I got to tell him to, like, I mean, when he does it right, it goes up easy. When but he doesn't do it right, he can't do it at all. But he doesn't like anybody in the gym watching him. So if I'm there and there's like 4 people on the opposite side and they're looking at him because it looks cute, all that, he'll start crying. He doesn't want anyone watching him. And then, so my wife is saying, like, I don't know if he's going to do this down there. Like, he might not want to go out there, but when he goes onto the wrestling mat, like, you can't even get his attention. Like, he's so locked in, and he's doing really well with it. And it's funny how when you put yourself in that environment, it could be kids, it could be adults, like, you can lock into a different persona, and it really does help.
My toughest kid, who is just a pure savage. I feel sorry for other kids that have to go against him. He cries the most in practice. Every practice, he cries at least once. Show up to the tournament, bloody nose, gets kneed in the face, doesn't matter. Someone arm bars him too tight. Like, he's just like, hey, I'm ready to go back in and fight. I'm gonna get the W. Like, no crying, no, totally different. Game days, so you cannot judge anyone by their practice.
No.
Game days, just like,
gamer mentality is a real thing, and I'm sure you, with the amount that you guys cover the sport, that's a real thing. Like, you just you just know some guys are going to show up. Like, they might not look great in training or in practice, or they're always hurt or something, right? You get a lot of that in CrossFit sport, but when it says 3, 2, 1, go for the open, quarters, semis, the games, it's that's where, like, the real personality shows up.
My kids fight 3 hours a day. Yeah,
that's awesome. I don't want to mess with those guys.
Hey, one of my 9-year-old, it's funny, last night I was wrestling one of my 9-year-olds. We did a little 30-minute, and it's, holy shit.
I bet are they well behaved outside of it too?
Oh, like, my God.
I'm telling you, that helps. It gets all that energy, you know?
They're so well behaved, and they're so nice to other kids. They don't posture at all.
That's a fighter mentality. A lot of those guys can F anybody up that they wanted to, but they're like the softest spoken, because they're trained to basically kill you. So they don't they don't want to get into a fight, but they get all that energy out. I think that's another reason why I like those contact sports.
So you were doing baseball, and what happens when you get out of baseball? How old are you, and do you feel like you're kind of lost?
A little bit, for sure. You lose, I don't ever really put my identity into it, but it's like what you think about all the time. It's like what you do. I tried to play in a men's league for a couple of years. I had some fun, but guys weren't taking it serious, and I got pissed. So it's like, when I compete, I never compete for fun. Like, I always, like, I want to win everything I do, whether I'm driving to the gym or competing. Like, I'm not a big for fun type guy with competing. But to each their own on that. So what do? You find something that fills that competitive outlet. And a few years later, like, I really started lifting at the gym, but then I eventually found CrossFit. And, like, that's what I hear so common from former athletes, is that they found something that kind of gets them, like, they can think about this, they can train for it, they can try to get better, they can push their bodies and minds a little bit. And that is really what CrossFit supplied for me in my mid-20s when I started. And I think that's really, it got a lot of people back into a game, something that they missed previously as well.
I don't know if you remember, but there was a kid who out of LA who got drafted for the Houston Astros. He was like a left-handed pitcher, and it was like some sort of, I think he ended up not playing there. He got injured or something, but he was, I want to say he was the third only ever in Major League Baseball left-handed pitcher to get drafted in the first round or something. And he was a CrossFitter. He was a kid.
Oh, really?
From his parents owned a gym in Southern California, and he grew up doing CrossFit against everyone's in the baseball world saying, do not do CrossFit. It's going to totally ruin you. But he had a good coach, and coach kept him safe. I remember he had some rules, like during the season, not to go shoulder to overhead, but off season, a ton of it. But totally found a way. Do you think CrossFit's good for baseball athletes?
100%. I would say any athlete, because there are certain things you should probably avoid, or you need to get assessed. Like you said, coach, like the coaching is everything. That's where people from the outside, and they talk about CrossFit, and it rightfully so, it's dangerous. Or if you don't have a good program, or a good coach is more important than the good program. And that, all right, your thoracic is really tight. You can't be doing a squat snatch. Or, hey, you're trying to be a pitcher. We can cross this movement off the list and put a little bit more attention on your torque, your hips, your quads, your glutes. But we've had so many teenagers in our gym. Some of them are college athletes now that started working out in our gym at age 12, 13, 14, that I would bet $1 million their parents said it helped them be a better athlete at their specific sport. We have a state champion wrestler, again, a female wrestler, first state champion from Ridgewood, New Jersey, and I think in 50 or 60 years, wrestles against girls and boys. I've watched her wrestle, and her two brothers come to our gym to classes 4 or 5 days a week at 6 a.m. before school. Wow. They're wired different, but it's their primary workout program. And now that I'm starting to learn about wrestling in particular, you just see, because you need everything in those combat sports, just like the ability to hinge, squat, push, pull, bend, everything. So any sport that really requires some quarter extremity type work, power production, you're not going to get it by just playing the game. Like, you have to lift weights against and pursue intensity and pursue all these different movement patterns that are going to inevitably show up in these sports one way or another. So I think if I'm an athlete, or if my son is competing in a particular sport, part of his 3 to 4 month off season would absolutely be CrossFit, because it'll definitely pay its rewards down the road.
It's interesting. I remember Greg programming one time for some fighters, and instead of burpees, he had them, I don't even know what the move's called, but he had them do shoots. You know, like when you drop on one knee and you go to grab the leg. Yep. He just switched that out. He's like, okay, instead of burpees, you guys are going to do this. And I just remember thinking, oh yeah, duh.
Yeah. Oh, we have so many parents that are asking about their 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds. And that's like a struggle point for us, is like, what do we do with those kids? Like, we have a CrossFit Kids program in the summer. One of our coaches, Adam, crushes it did a really good job. But that's kind of for ages, I think it was 5 to 12. It's like, so now you have 12, 13, 14-year-olds that want to join the gym. And in some cases, it could be a little early for some of those guys. But, our rule is that if the parent's going to be there and we can kind of double team the coaching of that athlete, there are no boundaries to it. Like, they could be 12, 13 and join those classes, because as long as the coach can modify on the fly, like what Greg did with those fighters, you absolutely can get the benefits from it.
I love hearing that, that you letting kids do it if they're capable, they have the emotional maturity. As you were saying that, I was thinking anything you introduce to a 20-year-old male is going to be dangerous. Driving. So it is a little unfair at that point. I don't care what you introduce to a 20-year-old, they're going to do it balls to the wall.
Yes, they are.
Between 20 and 30. And there's going to be some component of danger that's not there for someone else.
Yeah, and that's a good point there. What worked or didn't work for this person or that person does not necessarily mean that'll be the case for someone new. Everyone's their own individual case. And again, that's where the quality of the coaching comes in.
How did you get CrossFit introduced to you? Where was it, like the first time you heard the word?
Oh man, it was at work when I was working in finance. A guy that was sitting across from the desk had joined a gym, and he's like, hey, you got to try this out. Because I'd always tell him, like, I'd go to the gym and I would lift and then go run really hard and then go lift again. Like, I didn't know what CrossFit was. I just kind of liked the vibe of going back and forth. And he's like, dude, you're kind of doing what we do, so why don't you come and try it out one time? So because we would always talk, we were brokers, so we just always had this open layout. We were always talking to each other, BSing all day. And so I came in with them and I kind of fell in love with it right away. Like, Cindy was one of my first workouts. And I love the vibe of being competitive and doing all these different things, getting out of breath, getting your muscles burning. And that's a pretty typical start story.
What about the group class? When I think of group classes, I don't think of it like as a man thing to do. You know what I mean? Because when I grew up in the 80s, all the group classes were women's events, and you never saw men's events. Did that dissuade you at all? And also, since you were a pitcher and you're used to doing things alone?
Yeah. I think the guy that got me in, who was my original business partner from Bison, we started it together, him and I. He brought me to CrossFit Hoboken, and basically every coach, not all, but most of the coaches were guys, and every class had guys in it, like big beefy dudes too. Like I didn't want to walk into like a room with a bunch of string beans with guys like who can't lift and they're just doing pull-ups and running all day. Like there was a guy that almost made the games back in 2012, 2013, just like big, massive guys, and they were doing it too. And I just thought, I immediately blocked. My first time I walked into the gym, there was women doing 95-pound shoulder to overheads, 3 of them, jacked as anything. And I didn't know what bumper plates were at the time. It's like one of my favorite stories. I thought it was 315. I thought it was 315. I'm like, where am I? But I thought it was cool. Like I've always liked stuff that's a little different. Like I don't like being like the normal. I don't like doing normal stuff. So that everyone else does. So I never really got deterred by guys, girls. Like it was hard. I thought it was effective and fell in love with it.
Was that Cariana's gym, CrossFit Hoboken?
That was she was Morristown, CrossFit Hoboken.
Morristown.
Yeah, CrossFit Hoboken is one of the oldest ones. They're still around, by the way. But they I think they opened in 2008 or 2007. It was one of the early ones. But we know Cariana and CrossFit Morristown.
Was it TJ? Was it a black guy?
No, it was Craig Parcells.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anyone else that you might know. I don't think
was he a cop?
No. He was full-time gym owner, and I think he works in real estate now. He's not in the game anymore, but he was ahead of the game. Like CrossFit Hoboken did CrossFit the right way, and there have been a lot of gyms that have come from that place.
And how long before you took your level 1?
I took my level 1 within, I think, 6 to 9 months. Yeah, like I wanted to coach right away. Like I knew right away that I want to coach, and then once I got that, I put some money together with my original owner, Chris, that got me into CrossFit, and another silent investor. And they basically put the money up, and I basically was the guy that left my job and just tried to run it. Chris eventually left his job. We opened in 2014. It took a long time to open. It was a really stressful time. Opening stuff out here in suburbia is tough. Just zoning and small town politics. Even it's the town I grew up in Midland Park. I thought it did help me in some ways, but it was just a really slow, drawn out process. But I was owning a gym within 3 years of starting CrossFit.
Are you still in the same gym that you started in?
We moved up the street in 2019. We outgrew it. So we basically doubled, now tripled our original square footage.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is your 7 a.m. class?
Yeah, it's like a normal Tuesday or whatever day of the week that was.
The place is massive.
Yes, I think that might have been. I did like some before and afters of just it's about 6,000 square feet. I've seen bigger gyms. Sometimes I wish the ceilings were a little bit higher, but it's a really well sized gym. During COVID, we had to get really structured with you see those tape lines.
Yep.
Those are zones, and we put your name on a whiteboard. We tell you what zone to go to when you go to the gym, and some people won't like that, but it gives us a lot of structure, and people actually asked us to do it. We had to do that in COVID. New Jersey it was an awful place to be during COVID. The gyms got royally screwed, and we had to create these zones to keep people 10 feet away from each other. And then once all those rules got lifted, the members asked us hey, we kind of like just having our own space. There's no awkward who's here, who's there. We match people based on the height of the pull-up bar when we use the rig. So it's, and it gives us a lot of structure because we have class. There's 18 zones in the gym. We'll have 30 people sometimes show up. So you got to be a little careful with that.
What I'm noticing. Oh, we have a bad echo. Are you getting an echo?
I'm not.
Okay. What I've noticed from these last, 7 or 8 interviews I've done with affiliate owners is structure is a key to success for all the gyms.
Yeah.
Crazy structure.
Yeah. It's funny. Sometimes I feel like I don't do a good enough job, or we don't do a good enough job structure. But then I look at it I'll wake up at 7 a.m. sometimes. I'm like, there's 75 people at the gym by the time I eat my breakfast. And we have a lot of members now that have come from other gyms. Gym shut down or they left the gym. And that's the best feedback we get is that exactly what to expect every single time you go in. And whiteboard talk, warm up, scaling, some teaching every single day. And it's just it's like a machine now. And I think even to the point where we tell you where, if you showed up today, you would go into the gym and you'd be say, Savon, you're in zone 4. You know, like, wait, I don't get, no, you're in zone 4 and you don't think twice about it. You know, I think your boy Gabe from Paper Street Coffee, he just joined Bison.
Oh,
Yeah.
no shit.
Yeah, hit him up. He's been awesome to work with. He's a really cool dude.
Yeah, very cool. Hey, Dave, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try kicking you out
Okay.
and bringing you back in. I think it's the speaker on your computer that's echoing. Let me kick you out and then have you just come right back in.
Okay.
All right, let's see, because that just started up. I don't know what happened. I did see Gabe in the chat. That's awesome. What a small world. I've definitely coached, so I hold gym to high standards, and I've been to a shit ton of gyms, and Dave has an amazing gym. Oh, there you go. That's awesome. God, I love that. Absolutely love that. Yeah, echo is gone. Yeah, I think it's how about now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, good. Yep.
Am I good?
Yep, echo's gone. Perfect.
Okay.
So 2014, you opened the gym. 2019, you switched spaces. I'm going back to your level 1. Tell me about your experience at the level 1.
CrossFit in New York City. Keith Wettenstein was one of my guys there.
Beast.
And it's funny. Adrian Bosman was the guy there too. Yeah, he was. I mean, I can't imagine 2 better people to teach you what it was back then. And I didn't even know what this was going to lead to, but I just knew during that level 1 from those guys, like, you ever just like kind of just nod your head to the point your neck is getting sore? Like, you just agree with everything. And you're not trying to be a kiss ass or like suck it up. Like, you just like, you see it, you feel it. It's like, it's deep inside of you that you know this can work. And that was one of those moments when, like, when we open a gym, man, like, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be classic CrossFit, you know? And that's, those were 2 really, I'm thankful that I got to go in with those guys because they taught me the right way.
Look at this. Gabe's to say there's a vacant spot 2 blocks away from your gym to open a Paper Street Coffee.
Ooh. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of coffee drinkers in this area too. And yeah, that would be, he would do well there in that area. I think he owns one in Cresskill, which is it's not very close to where we are. It's not very far mileage wise, but it is, it can take a half hour to get there from our gym.
When you took your level 1, were you planning on opening a gym?
It was in my scope, but it was more about coaching. Like, I even was like already thinking like, I'm going to leave my job and coach, you know, like I was a young idiot back then that still to this day, like, I'm a dreamer. Like, I always try to think about things that I want to do or things that we can do. And most ideas don't work out, but I'm always kind of throwing ideas on a wall and hopefully they stick. And that was one that was just an idea at the time that I wanted to coach.
Where did you meet your wife, David?
In Hoboken. I was actually going to be a wingman to my buddy Mike Dill, who I did my level 1 with. And a girl he met didn't work out, but she brought a girl with her, and that's now my wife. We kind of hit it off. Those 2 didn't. She was seeing someone at the time, so I had to like take a back seat and just wait. But planted the seed and it worked out.
Oh, I had that too. How long did you wait? I had to wait 5 years for my wife.
Oh, dude, I wouldn't have waited 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
I think I waited probably about 3 to 4 months.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how old were you when you met?
Man, I was 27, I think 26 or 27.
And so you had already found CrossFit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I actually got her. I tried to get her into it. She asked for some personal training sessions, didn't pay me a dime for them. But, you know, I got her a free membership there for a little bit. So she started right around then. And then things moved pretty fast. She moved in with me after just a few months of dating. We moved out of Hoboken to open up the gym. And I give her a lot of credit because, you know, I had no money. I had literally zero money to the point where she had to pay one of my tax bills one year. Our second year of dating.
That's similar to me and my wife too.
Yeah,
similar. I was in and out of her apartment for many years.
Yep. So it's I look back on things like that. Like, we're so caught up in how busy we are now, you know, and stressed out. We're always doing this, always doing that. But those are like really special days that I miss a lot. Like, it's a lot simpler than what it is now. But back then you're stressed out as too. You just don't even know if the gym's going to work. You didn't know if we were going to open, but I don't think I would have gotten through it without her.
How close were you guys to closing during COVID?
Never, honestly, never. We were never close to closing. It was always a fear. That's right when my son was born during COVID too. Like the peak of COVID is when he was born. So that was a really stressful time in general. But it was a blessing in disguise in that I got to spend so much time with him over his, like, I never had to go to work. We did Zoom classes for a while. Then we worked out in a parking lot for a summer. But our membership is, I always like want to get that out. Like it's a really unique group of people that I think we got a little lucky with. I'll put that out there. Very few of them canceled their memberships. I even got a few messages saying like, hey, like, we know we're going to be back in there at some point. We want you guys to stay open. Like, keep charging my credit card or keep taking my money. And some people were in situations where they had to, like, to each their own. Everyone had their own personal situations back then. But I think we only lost about 20% of our memberships during that time. And they're a huge reason why we're still here, is what those actions right there.
Yeah, that's cool. So in hindsight, it brought everyone tighter together.
Absolutely. People were crying when we got back together, and we had to wear masks in the gym. We worked out in a parking lot for 2-3 months. We were not allowed in the gym until Labor Day. Like, just think when COVID started, it was March. We were not allowed in the gym until September. So we worked out in summer, and it gets pretty hot here in the summer, in a parking lot. And I remember people seeing each other for the first time in the parking lot using kettlebells and these burnt black mats. And they cried when they started seeing each other. And it was like weird because you weren't really allowed to hug each other, but we did. Those are crazy times too. Some of those rules and things that you think you knew, you're wiping down your doorknobs and mail, thinking my kid's going to die if I shake someone's hand. You know, it's like all those things, but the power of the community, that's probably where it shined brightest. You know, there's a lot of moments throughout the years that you can look back on, but that's when I do feel like our togetherness really took it to another level.
CK Kevin, a lot of us paid dues during COVID when our gym was shut down. It was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
The thing is you know, and you probably feel like this about places your kids go, you value them so much.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I can't stop talking enough good about the jiu-jitsu academy my kids go to, because I want the coaches there to get filthy rich and stay around forever, because they're just a huge part of my kid's life, right? It's like you're like helping me raise my kid.
Yep. I mean, I go to my coaches, my son's wrestling coaches, and I'm like, every time I see them, like, hey, I appreciate what you do, man. And they're like, ah, cool. Like, back up a little bit. But like,
they don't know how much we love them. Yeah.
Yeah. You're on the other side of it. And I agree. It's members.
And you're doing that for people,
Yeah. You want to pay it forward. Whenever I get to speak in front of our members, whether it's at a holiday party or at the open party, I always like to put it out there that we're here for them, but we're also here because of them. You know, we're not just doing good work and everyone's coming in and paying their dues. Like, we're here because of them, and you feed off that. Like, you never want to give, you never want to take more than you give. So I think if you have a room full of people that are trying to give, it just, like, that's where the limitless, you know, the possibilities are endless when you have a room full of people that are wanting to give more than they take.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't spend my time keeping score, but if I do get that feeling that I'm taking more than giving, that is not the place I ever want to be.
Yep,
that is not.
I always say if everyone takes more than they give, at some point there's going to be nothing left to take.
And it's pretty amazing how the world works. Maybe I'm just an anomaly, but I don't think so. The more you give, the more you get.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. And so it's kind of a competition to who can give the most.
Yeah, we see that. You know, when we had an unfortunate death in our community last year, a longtime member, really tough situation for our whole community, and it brought us all together. But the amount that people wanted to give, and not just money, like, yeah, there was a lot of money, but that aside, like, it's almost like you felt like you had not to one up each other, but you wanted to add, like, everyone wanted to be the person that was giving. It's almost overwhelming to a point where, guys, back off a little bit. Like, you can't all go to the house.
Everyone can't bring dinner tonight.
Right. Exactly. But that's the way. And that's where I want us to be different. You know, we are a gym, and we're just a gym, but that, to me, it's like you can really build a culture, community of impact, and impact can go really far for a long time.
The Open's coming up again. I noticed you made this post. Do you have a friendly competition going on with these guys?
No, that's so the CrossFit the Northeast affiliate page is what made that. We I
Oh,
guess they
okay.
asked. So I don't even know how to make that, to be honest with you. I would fail miserably if I tried to. So that's their post. We reposted it, or we collaborated with them. Competitive, no. Do I like us seeing on the top of anything? I'd be lying if I said no. Absolutely. But it's also really early still. You still have another 30 days, I think it is, or 28 days. But we try to get people to sign up early so that we can make intramural teams that we kind of compete against each other in house, and it just helps to know ahead of time who's going to be in, who's going to be out. So those guys, I'm sure a lot of those gyms will catch up. But it's cool, yes, to see your name on top of anything, and that's what we're known for. We have people that drop in to gyms around the world throughout the year, and people always like, oh, you're from Bison, and you guys get all the people from the Open, so that's a cool thing.
And obviously you're not going to do anything to hurt your gym. You always want to add value. I'm assuming. Why push so hard for the Open? Why do you do the Open? What value does it bring?
It just brings us together. It's like the one thing that I think it puts everyone on the same page. And no, it's not like every other workout throughout the year, because like I've been programming since day one at Bison, and I have no idea what's coming our way. Our coaches don't know. We all find it out at the same time. And whether you're competitive or not, whether you're new to CrossFit or not, it's a great physical test for you to take on and really represent what CrossFit is. And it's, yes, physical, but it's also something that you do together. We make a big deal of like teams and judging each other and supporting each other, all that good stuff. But I've always felt, for people that really want to kind of measure progress throughout the year or years, this is the number one objective way to do it. And I understand at some point you no longer make physical progress. We just got done talking about that. And you have a lot of people that can't handle that, or don't want to handle that, or don't deal with it. But I look at it as the same as if you would never skip a physical with your doctor because you put some weight on and you started smoking and drinking. Like at some point, you're going to go to a physical and find out the hard way that you got to get it together. So I don't buy I just don't want to deal with, I'm not good at this anymore. And I really do think it's a common bond that our entire gym can come together and do. And we have events throughout the year, highly attended, but nothing is like this. You never had this many people from our gym sign up for something. And there's a togetherness feel to it. And the energy is different in there, man. I'm telling you, even now, like the leading up to the Open, like there's extra effort, there's extra support, there's extra hard work. And we just got done talking about that feeds into other people as well. So it's like almost impossible to not get into it. It's stressful though. Like I'm not gonna lie about that. It's there's stuff I don't want to see. There's stuff you don't want to see. There are some bad things that happen during the Open, but I don't run away from things that are bad or hard. And you walk away from the Open being like, wow, I did something, and you get a name, you get a rank, and it lights a fire for so many people that, I have a coach right now. She's dealing with a little bit of a back issue, and she knows she's not going to do well in the Open. I might have to do foundations. She's been an RX athlete her whole life, but she's like, I'm going to use this as my jumping off point for next year. And like, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. I'm assuming you do a lot to facilitate getting the members to sign up. What's that look like?
There's the initial email, like in January. We talk about it. It's like kind of like a 300-word email, just talking about what it is, how do we run it. And then we have our coaches. Again, I think our coaches buy into it. And I know not all of them love the Open, but they love what it can do for the gym. So at the whiteboard, they'll talk about it and they kind of give their own spin. Like we don't give them a script. They all come up with their own spin on, hey guys, like this is why I think you should sign up for the Open. This is a story from 2-3 years ago. This is why I do it. And it's kind of just like a constant drip, like we don't have a marketing scheme. We don't try to scare people into doing the Open. I don't believe in that either. I have good friends that don't want to do it for their own personal reasons, but it's an email. It's everywhere. Like we talk, hey guys, this might be in the Open. Hey guys, Dave Castro said there's a new movement this year. This could be it. And the fact that we talk about it throughout the year, every Friday we do an Open prep workout starting in January. So program a workout that's Open style. And we do judges for 3 of them, and it kind of wakes up like, what is
these? Are dress rehearsals. This is kind of cool and help get the nerves taken away. Yeah.
It's so much fun. It's like my favorite workouts to program for the year.
You said people have the reasons not to do it, or people are
Yeah,
scared or apprehensive, but I can't think of. I've never heard anyone say, um, at the end, that they're not so happy that they did it.
yeah,
For some reason, there's a sense, even though you do workouts, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days a week,
yep.
finishing that, there's a sense of accomplishment, a pretty
There is.
big sense of accomplishment.
And it's realistic now. It used to be 5 weeks. I love the 5 week open, but most people don't. I get why too. It's just tougher logistically, but there is a sense of pride. And there's something that like that could be your day one. At the end of the open, like everyone loves the day one, right? How many times you see people make posts about, hey, I started this program or I started this diet. Everyone's motivated. Like that could be your day one right after the open for like, all right, you got crushed this year. You don't have double unders. You scaled 3 of them and you couldn't do a wall walk, right? Now we have a year to see like, hey, let's work on this stuff. And this fitness business, like you have Chris Cooper on, and I always love listening to that one. It's a really tough, it's a very difficult business because it's such a trend-based business and people need to feel stimulated. They need to have something to train for, to work for. And if they don't, they're going to eventually leave. That's like Pilates all of a sudden are the coolest thing in fitness now. And all the respect, like I think Pilates is actually a great thing as an accessory for people to do CrossFit because it can really touch in on a lot of joint integrity and joint strength and core strength. But at some point, that's no longer going to be the fad. Right now, it's really popular. So in the business of CrossFit, where you're trying to keep this thing going, every now and then you need something from the outside that gets people motivated.
Mm.
And in some ways, that's what High Rocks has done for a lot of people.
Yep.
It's got them motivated to train for something. So to me, you don't always have to be like, hey, when I was 26, I can't do this, but I can only do this now 10 years later. It's like, well, why don't we use this year's open, get your result, and then use this to jump off of for next year? And now that gives you like a 12-month. You tell someone you have 12 months to train on something, like that's a lot of time. Like you could do a lot in 12 months. So that's another positive I see of pushing the open.
It is interesting when you word it like that too. When you bring up stuff like High Rocks and Pilates, the cool thing about the Open too is it is a place for everyone to express what they've done.
Yep.
For that whole year.
Yeah.
And maybe some people want to see how good they can do. For me, the bar is really low. I just want to finish it. I just want to be like, okay, I'm gonna do these 3 workouts. That's how low the bar is for me. But for me, that's like I'm happy to. Feel so good if I jump over that bar.
I think that's most people. I really do.
You do.
That's the majority of people. And we just had a coaches meeting about this. We just had a coaches podcast where we had 10 coaches come on and talk about the open. And one of them said, it's like, if we can get the open to be something that feels very like, hey, it's together. It's something we're all doing, something everyone can get something out of it. Like, don't make it the workout 90 muscle ups for time. Like that's not for everyone. There's ways you can manipulate the programming to really help you out with some of this stuff. And I remember one of my favorite stories. It's not the first muscle up, which those are always cool. It's not the PR lift, those are always cool. But a girl used a 35-pound dumbbell on dumbbell snatches for the first time. She was crying. She was crying after.
Yeah.
And like, that's like, man, that's what this stuff is all about. So if you can make workouts like that in the open and then let the elite athletes run with quarters and semis, that's how I think the retention can happen. Because I don't know where the numbers are at. I haven't really paid too much attention.
They're doing great. They're doing great.
And I think the more inclusive you make it, you got to be careful with that word in general, but you want CrossFit Open to be pure CrossFit.
Yeah.
And let the workouts that get harder as you go, you eventually get knocked out. Cool. Let the great athletes do all their things. But I love the programming in recent years.
Me too. I thought last year's was like the last 2 years have been just amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And like, it's possible. You just got to put some extra thought into it, like where the best will still shine, but everyone can play.
Have you had any business mentors at your gym?
No. Just like self-education type stuff. We haven't worked with, Two Brain or Best Hour of the Day. Like I read a lot. I listen to what I can. I'm always listening to something. Like I'm never just sitting home watching like Ozark or something, unless it's with my wife on it.
Right.
That has shown.
Don't you hate it when your wife starts a series and you're like, oh shit, am I gonna be watching? Am I gonna?
Yeah. But I like listening. I talk to some gym owners. Tim Carroll from 908 is a guy I talk to a lot. He's on the gym. I think they're 15 years in now. Like I get more out of just listening to people from my gym and other owners. And maybe some point we go down the path of getting a consultant or business mentor. But right now it's not really in the cards.
Gotcha. And the going back to the open, do you have a goal for how many people you want to set up?
It's usually
sign up?
percentage. Like I always like to get the number 80% of our members signed up.
Wow.
That's usually where we're at. We probably have another 30 to 40 to go to get there for this year, which is it's doable. It's still early. But no matter what, you're gonna have people that don't want to do it. And they all have, I feel guilty sometimes. People like they're saying sorry or like, hey, like I don't for this reason or that reason. Like, look, like I'm not the kind of guy that's gonna judge you for not doing it. Like I think it's good for everyone to do, but I know not everyone's always gonna do it. Like I know that's never gonna happen.
Accessible, not inclusive. Oh, right.
That's a good word. I like that.
What do you think is the biggest obstacle for people? What's the most common thing? Is it I'm going to be out of town, or I don't have the money, or?
I mean, we'll pay for anyone that can't do it financially. So like that's out there. Schedule. I don't hear that often. If anything, I have a lot of guys that will drop into gyms. Like, hey, Dave, I'm not going to be here week 2, but I found this gym 18 miles from my hotel that's doing the open. Like those guys are usually pretty on top of it. I really think, man, I don't want to speak for people. Don't want to offend people either, but I think there is unwarranted pressure that people put on themselves.
Yeah.
That they think the whole room is looking at them when they struggle. And it couldn't be further from the truth. I can't tell you who was the top 10 athletes in our gym last year. I can make a few guesses, but I definitely can't tell you who was 44th. Like it's really, if you get crushed in an open, I actually take more value out of how they act during the open than what they do. All of our coaches, all but one, are homegrown coaches. And I've always said, let's watch these guys for a couple years before we ask them to coach. But let's especially see how they act during the open. Like that to me is where a lot of true colors, because it's stressful for everyone. I don't care what you say. It's stressful for everybody. And how you act when you're stressed out is a really big barometer for who you are character-wise. So I hope people can view it that way. It's like, hey, I can't RX anymore. I can't do this because my shoulder hurts, but I'm going to put forth my best effort because it's going to help the room out. And if I'm trying to help the room out, then that's where I want to be. Those are the people I want to be around.
Isn't it interesting? The solution to being stressed out or having an overactive mind is to just stop thinking about yourself and think about others.
Gratitude. Yep. Gratitude and self.
It's kind of crazy. That's the best part about having kids. You don't have to think about yourself.
Yeah. I have a mindfulness coach. His name's Rafi. He's actually in Fallout. I don't know if you watched that show on Amazon, but he's pretty famous now. But he's going to kill me for saying that. But I've worked with him on mindfulness, and it's amazing like how much calmer I am when I'm really doing my mindfulness practice with him. And one of the biggest things he's worked on is just be more gracious, like just be filled with gratitude. Like be filled with gratitude, the 3 people that are next to you. Be grateful for the music that you have in the gym, the barbells, the rig, like all these little things. And once you start acting and thinking like that, even in the middle of a stressful workout, it just doesn't impact you that much, because you really are. We're sitting here on StreamYard on a Thursday morning. Like that's him. That's my man.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He's the man.
Is he an actor?
He's an actor. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he's your mindful coach.
Yep. He's a member at CrossFit Bison, works out 4 or 5 days a week. He's a great athlete. He's one of the hero workout Coughlin, where you have to hang from the pull-up bar for 6 minutes. Every time you come down, you run 800, do 30 push-ups.
Oh, yes.
He's I think the guy that I've seen hang on to the longest. I think he held on for 4 or 5 minutes one time. But he's a good athlete. He's a great guy, but he also just has a very different approach on things that have helped me a lot with competitive career, owning a gym. And gratitude has been one of the things that we've talked about the most. And when you are looking at the amount of things you're absolutely lucky to have and grateful to have, you really start thinking about, are people watching me do thrusters? It just doesn't matter anymore, and he's a big believer in really, that's how you get your physical ceiling. That's how you reach it, is to be mindfully present, be grateful for everything you have.
You know what's interesting about that? I've definitely felt that before, especially in the early days of doing CrossFit when I'd spend more time in the affiliates. But it never lasts more than 3 seconds into the workout. As soon as they say go, it's like, holy fuck. Like you're just like holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
I don't know what anyone else is doing. I'm
It's
like,
practice. It's like anything. It's
yeah.
like practicing muscle ups and pull ups. Like it takes a lot of practice to do these things and talk about it with someone that really knows how to talk about it.
I remember I think it was during the open one year. There were overhead, I wanna say there were overhead squats with 135 or something. There was some workout, and I was probably 10 or 15 years older than this young lady who worked at HQ, and we were in the gym, and she was completely across the gym from me. There were probably like 15 people between us, and I was using the 95-pound bar to do overhead squats, and I think the weight was supposed to be 135, and I just heard her say, "God, you're a pussy." And I just knew it. I just ignored it, but I just knew it was for me. But like a good alchemist, when people say stuff like that, you got to just convert that as like, hey, they like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just converted it. I'd like, you know what I mean? It's just emotional alchemy.
There's there's definitely different styles of coaching. I've always been taught that if a coach is hard on you, that means they believe in you, they like you, they think you could do more. That's but on the flip side of that, there are things that people can say. I know people that leave the gyms. I know someone that's left our gym because of something that someone said to him. And you got to be really careful with what you say.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she knew it was okay to say that to me.
Yeah, to you. Yeah,
Right,
because you can
right,
handle it. You can
right,
handle it. Some people
right.
can't. Some
Yeah.
people can't.
I thought it was funny. I was like, "Oh, she's checking me out." I just turn it to that. My ego just turns out, "Oh, she's checking me
Hell
out."
yeah. What where do you do the open? Do you do it in your garage or do it solo?
I'll do it wherever. I'm
Yeah.
not like last year. One of the weeks I was in Newport Beach, and my wife went to an affiliate to do it, and I just did it. I took my kids to the beach, and I just did it on the beach. It was
Nice. That's awesome.
I think it was one where maybe there was a shuttle run in it.
Okay. In 23? That like
No,
fear.
last year.
So you had the walking lunges with the
Oh, maybe it was
dumbbell?
walking lunges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I just took, I think, was there jump roping in that or burpees? I can't remember.
Burpees over
People,
the dumbbell. Burpees
yeah.
over the dumbbell. Yeah.
And you know what's funny is I filmed it, and I put it on in my, it wasn't a great time or anything, and I put it on YouTube, and it's crazy how many people watched it, and the comments were ridiculous. They're like, "Hey, is this in slow motion?" I mean, I was just getting fucking destroyed.
That's great though.
People
There's
are
so
like,
much
"That's not
trash talk.
25 feet, that's 35 feet." I'm like, "Fuck, I don't know. I've just paced that thing out." You know what I mean? Like,
There's so much fun trash talk in the gym during this time. Like we have some really cool group of guys and girls. They get really competitive with each other, and it's fun to watch. Like just we have a guy that doesn't really CrossFit at our gym that much during the year. He comes back during the open and he crushes a lot of people.
oh,
It's just like a fun thing to watch, and it's just good energy, good vibes. If there's the ugly side to CrossFit competition as well. I'm trying to one up you, repeating workouts, all that kind of stuff, but the overwhelming majority of like the emotions, the trash talk, the fun, the banter, it's all just like community building. And it just kind of brings everyone back down to, hey, we're kind of the same people. It brings us back to what we were talking about earlier. Like we're all just kind of average CrossFitters at the end of the day. Like no one here is special. No one here is winning the games. Like sure, you might have gotten 10 more reps than that person, but who cares? Maybe you had an easy judge.
it is interesting since we use a clock so much, like every day. I'll have in my head, and I wonder if a lot of people have this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this, and you're dead set on not doing it as your finger pushes the countdown.
Yep.
And then the countdown starts. Yeah, and like that's how I feel about the open every time. I'm like, I'm carrying the dumbbells out to the beach or wherever. I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And then I see myself setting up the clock. I'm like, holy fuck, am I schizophrenic? My body's like setting this shit up, and my brain's like, there's no fucking way. And then I see the clock counting down, and it's like, all right, here we go.
Fitness takes over at some point. I mean,
Yeah.
it's what you do. It's a big part of what you are. Like, why wouldn't we lean into it? It's like the one time you get to connect with people all over the world and they're all doing the same workout. I just think there's something really cool. I think it's the most unique test of fitness in the world. Like, I don't think anything's close to it. Like, honestly, High Rocks, nothing close. I don't care about the numbers. You know what High Rocks is when you get there.
Yeah.
Like the open to me, it's like, are you fit or are you not fit? Like I think people that do High Rocks are very, very healthy and fit in their own regard. But to me, if that's all you're good at, and there's a lot of holes in your fitness. Where CrossFit, like, you don't know until the day before you do it, essentially. And that to me is like, I hope CrossFit really keeps leaning into it, because I think it's like the number one opportunity to show really what it is all about.
Um, I have nothing bad to say about High Rocks at all. I think it's a great place for CrossFitters to go use their fitness.
Yep.
I think the people who do it, like who really do it. I'm not talking about these people who just do it to like check off the box that like they got through, like the people who do a marathon just to say they did a marathon, but the people who train for it and the people who do it and express it and go hard. I think it's fucking awesome. There's no question in my mind that Hunter McIntyre is one of the fittest guys who's ever fucking walked the fucking planet.
Yep.
The only frustration, and it's fun to pick on, the only frustration, but I think it's outweighed by how many people it introduces probably to CrossFit. My only frustration is some of the lack of range of motion that they don't call out, because you don't. But I think it's a net win for humanity. I think High Rocks is a net win for humanity.
I'm on the same page as you. I have a lot of people from our gym. Just the New York one just got announced, and we're gonna have probably dozens of people do it. And I think it's awesome. I really do. I don't have anything bad to say about it either.
Yeah.
You also have to, they're still kind of young into this whole thing. Like, CrossFit made a lot of mistakes in their first few years too. Like, I think that there's potential there. I just think there's a limited upside too if you're never gonna change.
Me too.
It's just like running a 5K or a Spartan race. Those things were the coolest thing ever back in the day. But if you know it's coming every single time, it's just kind of like I think it'd be really cool if High Rocks ever said, hey, here are the first 4 stations. The next 4 are going to be, it could be one of 8 things, and you're not going to find out till you get there. Like, I think that would be pretty cool.
I don't know how involved you are in watching YouTube or watching the game side of things, but do you have any thoughts? I'm really impressed, like every day, more and more impressed by these 4 ambassadors that have just really showing up. Jason Hopper, Dallin Pepper, James Sprague, and Justin Medeiros.
Yeah.
I saw Jason do that Cam Hanes thing. I see them. Yep. I don't know if you saw it. That was crazy. He said he's never run more than 8 miles, and he goes out there and runs 13 miles and then breaks the record for the stone carry.
Yep.
Now they fly up to Alaska, and they did the air paratrooper fitness test.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this sort of, like, this is going back to like when, Rich and Dan and Josh were outstanding ambassadors, for the sport. Jason Khalipa, are you watching that at all?
Yeah, I watch it, and that's really what got a lot of us 20-something-year-olds into it back in the day.
Yeah.
Not that we ever thought we were Rich Froning. We all tried to be, but at the end of the day, it just didn't happen. But you could relate to them. And you were intrigued to try things that they were trying. You were trying to, that's what they're doing, I'm going to try to do this. Like, and that's what CrossFit missed out when Rich really left the individual space. I don't know if Frazier really that wasn't really his thing, in my opinion.
Right.
To have these guys that are just good, genuine people I don't know them personally at all, but they seem like they're very good, genuine people. They're fit. They look great. They're happy. They're not miserable guys training 8 hours a day in someone's basement. And they're using their fitness to prove that I don't train for this, but I could still go do that. So the term you use, ambassadors, like, that's it. I'm not as plugged into the female side. Like, I don't know if there's the females that are really helping get the women to really get behind them. Because I've always felt like the women within CrossFit have changed landscape of fitness more than anyone over the past 12 years. Like, they have really changed how women view fitness and how people view fitness. Like, I love watching a new guy come to our gym and just get outlifted by 9 women in our gym. Like, it's awesome. I love seeing that. Because it kind of immediately puts someone into the place. Okay, this is different. These people are different. But because
a lot of us came in with nasty girls.
Yeah,
honestly. We saw Annie, Eva T, and Nicole Carroll. I mean, for me, that was like, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yes.
And they just look like regular girls.
When I started feeling like the CrossFit games started going south after they got rid of regionals, and those are things that are above my head in terms of why that happened, I did feel like it also correlated with there was a lack of connection to the games athletes. They're no longer in affiliates. They're all at training camps, and there just wasn't as much content to watch. And to me, it just always turned into like a drama situation where it's like, I just want to watch these guys throw down. I want to get ideas for workouts. And
There
to
was a
me,
brooding phase. I don't want to dig at Matt, but Matt was more of a what does that exact word mean? He was a brooder, and that
yeah,
brooding. What does that mean? Showing deep on. Yeah, there was a little bit of darkness or unhappiness to him, maybe,
yeah, yeah, and
and
like,
he put winning ahead of everything. And these guys seem. I don't want to say that Jason and those guys don't want to win, but they're playing a larger landscape.
yeah, right,
And I don't know why there's women not doing that. That's interesting. Carolyn Prevost has been very consistent on the Clydesdale podcast. She gives
okay.
great insights, but that is interesting.
I like Fisa Gaffi. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
follow her
She,
content. Like I
she's put
really,
herself out there for sure.
yeah. But even like I don't know if this is realistic or not, but I love seeing these guys like in affiliates too. Like I'm an affiliate owner, of course I'm going to say that, but I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world every now and to like watch Rich do workouts with his classes at Mayhem
Yeah.
back in the day. And like, yes, that's one of 7 workouts he's doing today. But all these like training cycles and all this stuff, like I really feel like when the normal CrossFitters stop relating to them or they stop seeing them, it can take some wind out of their sail. And when the wind comes out of the coach's sails or the main athlete's sails, then it can fall apart pretty quick. So that's one challenge I would thought. Like I remember when Matt Frazier went on Joe Rogan's podcast, and I was so excited to listen to it, and I was so disappointed by the episode itself. Not because Matt's a bad dude. I don't know Matt. I can't say that about him, but it wasn't an ambassador type approach to the affiliates, not CrossFit. Like I think he actually talked, if I remember correctly, I think he said something irresponsible about affiliates and something he didn't really know about the affiliate side. And we always say the affiliates are going to feed the ship. Like that's a fact. It's not the games. The games could feed the affiliates. The affiliates could feed the entire operation. But I would love to see a little bit more affiliate involvement. Like Jason Hopper and James Sprague are picking a new gym on the first of every month to go drop into a class somewhere. Like that would just be a really cool thing.
James and his dad's a games athlete too, and James and his dad are forward facing with basically CrossFit saved our lives. It saved our lives. It saved our relationship. Yep. James's dad has the story with, I think, alcohol. Sorry if I got that wrong. James was depressed and overweight, and the affiliate saved them. And the truth is Matt has stories like that too, about his dad and his best friend getting saved by CrossFit, and he didn't. Maybe he was nervous or for whatever reason, but when you think you get a platform that big, if Matt would have said, hey, the greatest thing you could ever do is go into an affiliate, and that would have, and there were, let's say, 10,000 people listening to that show that were on the fence, and those 10,000 people entered affiliates, that's $2,200 a year for every affiliate he could have gifted them. And that didn't happen. And that was truly, truly unfortunate.
But again, he's not, and again, like, to defend him,
that's not his responsibility.
Yeah, it's not his responsibility.
No.
He's not an ambassador. That's not what he was trying. He was competing to win. That's all he get.
Right. And he did.
Yeah. But I now that he's on the other side of it, I wonder, now that he's like owning, and I think they have an affiliate or something with HWPO, but I wonder because they've tried to get to the affiliate game as well, if I remember correctly, right?
Yep.
Affiliate programming.
Yep.
I hope that could see at this point, like there is still an opportunity for him to really make a difference in that regard and use that platform to help everything. Because I still think, I don't know how you feel, but I still think CrossFit's it hasn't reached its apex yet.
No, not even close. I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I don't think so either.
Just got to get the right leader in there. I know you guys all have the inside information, but we got to find the right leadership, or it sounds like it's not being sold or it is being sold, but I would love to see just like someone that's like a real face of not just the games but the affiliates, because those are the stories that are going to get people to want to do it.
Right.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens there.
I know he's my friend, and this is I obviously have my bias, but there is no one on the staff that's been to more affiliates than Dave.
I'm a huge Dave guy.
Yeah, I remember when he went, he said, hey, I'm going to go to every affiliate in San Diego County. And I go, really? And he goes, yeah, I'm going to do one a day.
Wow.
And he did that for 100 days. Yeah. And every time he goes out, he gets off the plane. Like Andrew went with him to Korea, and he's like, fuck, we got there. And he got off the plane and started going straight to affiliates with our luggage.
I'm a huge Dave guy. You might be the biggest fan, but I'll take the second biggest fan. I got to go on with him on his channel last year to talk about the Open. And like, that was like just like a surreal moment because like I actually look up to him. I'm like appreciative of him, almost like a father type. Like I probably shouldn't go that deep on it, but you know, he's been through it. Like he's been through a lot of stuff, especially with what he went through last year. And like I had to be careful with what I said to people because some people got offended by what happened at the games, but there isn't anyone that I would rather be, you know, following in that kind of really lose-lose type situation. And the fact that he's still there says a lot about him because the guy could have left a long time ago and he'd be a legend forever. But when people don't leave when it's hard, they don't change. Like they don't leave. They don't quit. They take all that stuff in the face. And then now it's kind of on the way back up, or it's going to be on the way back up. That's what real leadership is to me. Like, I think a lot of people that were in his position would have left. I really do. They would have quit. It would have been too hard.
Yeah.
So,
oh shit. This guy is a legend in New Jersey. Bison baby.
Bison baby.
You ever, how did you come up with the name?
My business partner, we didn't know what town we were going to be in. So there isn't like a dramatic name to it other than that it just sounded cool, but he was in Jackson Hole and we were trying to figure out what it was going to be called. He was, you know, he's looking over a pasture and there's in Wyoming.
Your partner's rich. So your partner's rich if he was in Jackson Hole.
Yeah, I think they are. And he just saw a field of bison and he was just like, hey, like CrossFit Bison. And he came back with it. I'm like, dude, I don't think so. But then after a while, I'm like, it sticks. Like you'll always remember it. There's cool logo opportunities. It's American. And now, you know, Rich Froning started a bison farm after we opened, by the way. But, so all the Into the Storm stuff, like the more you read about what bison and what they represent, it's kind of like a big of what we are, like in his whole mantra of Into the Storm. And it's a really cool name. I'm really glad that he came up with it and I'm glad that it stuck.
Ever thought about opening a second gym?
So I could tell you something. We get into a little conversation about this. We opened up something in April in our building, and it's called Outlast. And it's basically very similar CrossFit methodology, but there's no barbells. There's no pull-up. There's no gymnastics, like upside down, muscle ups. And the thought behind it, in addition to, hey, we have all this extra square footage that we negotiated that we have to fill. We didn't want to add another CrossFit room. We opened up a gym for a lot of people that left CrossFit, kind of wanted to do some of it, but didn't want to snatch, didn't want to go upside down, or were getting sick of keeping scores and RX and scaled. And it took off. We opened it in April and it's in the same building. It's in the front of the building of Bison. We share some equipment. We have classes going on at the same time throughout the morning, midday, and night. And it's funny that there's about 100 members there now, which is pretty quick for 9 months. 40 of them are either current members, so they go to both, or former members that left as long as 5 years ago. And they want to lift. They want to be in a group environment. They want conditioning, but there's a lot of elements to it that they started to not like. And I also have another 40 people that they said that they've known about Bison for 6-7 years, but they never wanted to do CrossFit. And that's funny, with the name CrossFit does prevent people from going to a gym. And I can sing from the mountaintop about what it is, and we try our best to coach it correctly and get the message out, but there's people that will not come because of that. So now we're starting to see carryover that people from Outlast are now going into Bison because we're kind of like introducing who we are, what we do, what our methodology is. And in that gym, it's a little bit slower, but it's still really heavy on certain days. It's still really hard on certain days. And I have 11 of them so far are signed up to do the open. And I'm really happy about that.
I can't remember which gym it was, but there was a gym in Europe. I just interviewed the owner. I want to say they have 3 or 4 locations. One of their locations is exactly what you said.
Yeah.
It's a CrossFit gym without barbells and without advanced gymnastics. And I'm like, so you guys don't do pull-ups? They go, no, we do pull-ups. We just don't do, upside down stuff. And it was identical. How did you come up with that idea?
It's been in it's been in my head for it's been in my head for about 5 years because I want my finger on the pulse of everything that goes on. Like, I want to know what time people go to
He said his gym's hugely successful. It sounded like that's one of his most successful gyms of the 4 he has, 3 or 4 he has.
My predictions, Vaughn, and I'll do CrossFit till I die, is I think it's going to be bigger than Bison, this gym. And it's not because it's better or worse. It's because I think it's more accessible. We'll keep that inclusive word out. More accessible for people that are either a little banged up or they just don't like the environment. Like we don't even let chalk in that place, you know, like it's like, it's cleaner. It's like, it's small. The classes are a quarter of the size. Like the biggest class you get in there is like 8 to 12 people. And I believe in it because I do both. Like I work out at both, and I actually think it helps me. It's easier in the environment for me to work on my movement quality in Outlast. Then I get really competitive at Bison, and sometimes I tweak something, and I know that's an internal responsibility of mine that I have to keep track of. And I know there are naysayers that say, well, why can't you just have these people scale further at Bison? And to quote my buddy Tim Carroll, who opened up a similar gym, who also owns 2 affiliates. One of them's 15 years old. He opened up a gym like this. He was one of our inspirations behind it. He said, people need to feel like they're winning when they leave the gym. If they're constantly showing up to the gym and never doing anything that anyone else in that room is doing, they're going to eventually quit. And that could be a self-esteem thing, but it's reality. And if you always feel like you're losing, or you can't RX, or you're always the last one to finish, for a lot of people, they can't handle that. They don't want to deal with that in their life. So we opened up this avenue to come in and get really fit, really strong, get introduced to some movements you would never done with a coach watching you. I've still programmed over there as well. And now the business there, where we're at membership wise now, it took us almost 2 years to get to at Bison. We're there in 7 months, and we're already looking for another spot because we can't fit the people in there anymore. And it's not older, it's not younger, it's not less fit, it's not more fit. It's just they want a different approach to working out. And I wrote a whole thing on it and I sent it to CrossFit. I sent it to Jada Coombs. He read a bit. And I understand CrossFit is in some ways very uncompromising. They don't want to compromise. But I would love for them to look at it from an evolvement perspective. And this gym, I have people I haven't seen in 4 years. They're now back here 5 days a week. So you can look at it from business perspective. I look at it more from impact. Like I love seeing these faces that at some point, the flame of CrossFit is just left. And if we didn't have this avenue, we would have never seen them again. We wouldn't be helping them anymore. Who knows who'd have their hands on them. And I trust our coaches there. Our coaches there are CrossFit background coaches. And it's been a really eye-opening 8 months just from the conversations I've had with people and just listening to why they don't want to stick with CrossFit or why they left. And they're allowed to have their opinions on it. And I'm really glad that they can.
Is it the name? Is it the brand name they don't want to be affiliated with?
No.
No?
In my opinion, no. Like everyone's different. I think it's more of like what you do over there. Like you can literally look through a window and watch the class.
Okay.
And everyone over there is shirts off, chalk everywhere, crying as they work out. Trying really hard. And there's just a lot of people that they don't want to do that. And you know, we talk about this all the time, guys. Like if you're not going hard when you work out, like you're selling yourself short. So I have these men and women who they arrived never benching or squatting before, and like we have them squatting to failure, but it's all tempo, it's all like slower, it's all with dumbbells, it's not as compromising on mobility constraints. But it's been a really cool 7 to 8 months, and I think that we're still scratching the surface of what it is.
Greg was always a huge proponent of the dumbbell. He wished that he preferred the dumbbell over everything, over kettlebell, barbell.
I can see why.
Everything. And as I get older, I so love the dumbbell. Like the dumbbell's my go-to.
Yep. Kettlebells, dumbbells, those are the 2 weights. We're putting in pull-up bars right now. We have a few in there. You know, it's you know, I every now and then I have questioned myself. Like critical thinking is always like criticizing your own thoughts. That's like what I view it as. And I've viewed this as like, all right, am I a CrossFit sellout? Am I no longer drinking the CrossFit Kool-Aid? And I have looked in the mirror on that, and I'm as into CrossFit as I've ever been personally. But I've always kind of leaned back on, I think everyone should try it, but it's not for everyone. It's just not. And maybe I would even say that about Bison. Bison's not for everyone. So I like the fact that like the baseline ethos behind the 2 places is the exact same, but they're different enough that, you know, there is a contrast. Like, you know exactly where you're at and who's coaching it, what the workouts are. And I'm really proud of the coaches over there. You know, you can't get anywhere without quality coaches. Like, I don't care what your ideas are. Like, so they've done a really good job kind of meshing. And I just had 2 yesterday. They want to take a break from Bison. They want to go to Outlast. I've had people say like, all right, I'm ready for Bison now. Like it's almost like some of them view it as a stepping stone. I think they're just different programs, but they are similar enough that you can really feed off. And that's kind of business wise, they're kind of feeding each other right now.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me, that they're just going to feed off of each other.
Yep. And it's exciting, but what do you think about it? I really consider you a CrossFit truther and your whole team.
I mean, the comments are saying this is low intensity, bro. I don't like it. It's scaled CrossFit. We haven't drilled down into the details, but basically it sounds like, don't tell anyone this. It sounds like it's what I do.
Yeah.
So like I do a shitload of workouts where it's 20 burpees, 20 pull-ups, as fast as I can, but with 5-minute intervals. So I get these huge rests, and I just go for these short, so I can get it psychologically, my head wrapped around it, right?
Yep.
I do a lot of most of my thrusters these days are done with dumbbells.
Yep.
I do a shit ton of just stuff where it's like, a row for a minute, 15 push-ups, 10 rounds, and I can just cruise. That's what I'm picturing what you guys are doing over there. I don't go upside down a lot. I mean, I can. I'm still, for some reason, wall walks and handstand push-ups are still, I don't mind doing them, but I don't do them.
You want to hear something? So we have a nutrition program at our gym.
Nutrition's more important to me than ever. It's so
they're crushing it too.
Yeah.
They really launched it this year, and like they're just crushing it. They're doing, but we ran a weight loss challenge in the fall. Right now we're doing something that's called Reset. It's more of like an all-encompassing lifestyle nutrition challenge, and they're crushing it. And we have people from both gyms doing it. And we have one of those in-body machines that like measures your body fat.
Yeah. Sousa has one of those, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're great. Like I think they're great to use and compare it to itself. Like how accurate is it? Like I get that question all the time. I don't know. Like I don't know how accurate anything is, but if you're using
all that matters is that it's relative.
Yes. You're all using the same machine. A lot of people from Outlast that really went all in on it, they lost less weight, but they put more muscle mass on through this training, and they lost more body fat.
Oh, interesting.
So the CrossFit side, the predominant result there was that a lot of those people lost more weight, but they lost muscle mass in addition to fat.
Oh, interesting.
And it makes sense because a lot of the lifting workouts that Outlast, it's all slower, heavier, more lifting. And then we do one long conditioning day per week, and we do a CrossFit style workout every single week as well. Burpees, jump overs, all that stuff. But the Bison, a lot of typical CrossFit workouts are, you go hard, a lot of conditioning. We lift over there 2-3 days a week as well, but you are burning more calories, in my opinion, at our CrossFit Bison location. But that's not the end game. Like this isn't like the 1990s where you're just trying to burn calories every single workout and check that box. So the all-encompassing image is like, it does make sense to have both. Like if I want to do a little less hard, grindy stuff, I'm burning more calories, but I want to build a little bit more muscle. We've actually seen that happen a little bit more. I don't have enough data on that to really like say that's like a conclusion of an experiment, but I have started to notice that people are feeling a little bit more like, hey, I'm getting stronger, I'm building muscle, but yes, I don't feel like I'm performing or accomplishing the things that I do on the CrossFit side. So it's kind of like a give and take.
Definitely in my 30s, if I wasn't killing myself, I didn't feel like I was accomplishing anything. So whereas now I don't mind doing just a day of 5x5 deadlifts with 10 minutes on the assault bike, and I'm good.
Yep. And to bring you back, you just said you feel really good right now. Your joints, right?
I feel incredible. Yeah.
That's a big part of it.
I saw someone I hadn't seen in a year yesterday. They're like, holy shit, you look amazing.
That's all you do. I can see that little bicep. I can see that bicep on your arm right now, looking pretty good. I don't know if you're flexing.
Always flexing.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I actually think I would love for CrossFit to lean into this. I don't think they will, but there's a lot of struggling affiliates out there. I'm sure you talk to a few. And I think a lot of it is what? You can't get new people in. You can't hold on to people. That's what the game is, right? If you have another avenue that kind of feeds why some people are leaving your CrossFit gym, and you have the space and the time, the resources to do it, let's go for it. Let's open that door, because they actually might end up coming back, or at least you're giving someone a ramp to walk down instead of dropping off a cliff when they leave your gym. So the concept behind it, it's working at a really high level right now, and we're really excited for the future.
Hey, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing all this.
Hell yeah, man.
You're awesome.
I appreciate you too, man. I said it last year too. I think you guys are you guys have helped keep things very relevant, whether people agree with you or disagree with you guys. Again, like we said early in the call, it's healthy to disagree with people as long as you can communicate it. You guys and all the effort that you guys put into media, your whole team and all the guys, it really does help keep it relevant in a world that's hard to stay relevant. So I appreciate you guys.
And what do you do the podcast live, the Herd Fit podcast?
We post pretty much every Monday morning. We don't do live. Okay. I haven't gotten into that yet. I want to at some point, but I'm just priority wise, I just have too many other things that have to take precedent. But at some point I'd love to do a little bit more stuff on there. But yeah, it's
easier. If you once you go to live, you're done and you're done.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if my self-esteem can handle only having my mom and dad watch, but we'll see.
All right, brother. Have a great week. Thank you.
You too. See you guys.
Ciao.